Gonna mute you, Moose. Got a lot of background noise from you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning from wherever you are. And as promised, we said we would come back when the results are said. I did expect it to be as soon as I woke up this morning, but they came in and Trump wins. Victory for fascism. Fantastic. And now the fun really begins. Me and Sam, of course, are across the pond, so come see, come saw. It is what it is. I'm not that fussed for the results, though. I just feel really, really, really bad for the Middle East. And but I'm not surprised. Like when I was before I went to bed, when this whole thing started, I thought, Kamala's probably going to edge it. It's just going to be really close. And then by the time it was 2 a.m. over here, so it's still early in the United States, the dread started kicking in of, oh shit, Trump's going to win. And when I woke up 4 hours later, Trump was pretty much there at 267. And then he went over the line and, oh, don't you dare bite my stuff, cat. And so here we are. So before we do that, the gentleman working out below us is a Trump fan. So I would love to get his thoughts. And here we go. Welcome to the stream, Moose. I'm just going to add Daniel Block as well.
No worries. I'm just actually transitioning out of the gym, so sorry about all the noise. Gyms tend to be a noisy place. Yeah. Anyways, regarding Trump, I think the real your summaries are really good. I think the real issue here is there was no real other candidate running against him. If the DNC had really got a real good candidate and they had a primary, I think this election would have been different. Well, this is how it is in Canada. But yeah, I think in summary, the people actually just voted, right? So you can see what the numbers have said. Numbers don't lie. Can't sugarcoat it. You can't do anything. The numbers are the numbers. Some of the swing states where you expected it to go Democratic actually swung the other way. So the numbers, it is what it is. And like you guys said, come see, come saw. Nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, I better run. No. I mean, you did hit the nail on the head there. I think Biden broke his promise of saying that he was only going to run for one term. And then it got to that point and they weren't going to do primaries and Biden was just going to be the candidate again for next year. And that really hurt the Democrats. And to be perfectly honest, I don't think they even recovered from that. We thought, when Kamala came in, there was like a huge surge. But that surge barely lasted a month before they just resorted back to appeasing Republicans, trying to do bipartisan politics. It's a strategy that just doesn't work. It's a bad strategy because it isolates a lot of people that don't want to deal with the Republican side of everything. And it basically just reinforces the notion that nothing's going to change. So in that regard, I mean, I'll go to some stats and I'm going to go to Zam. Hello, Hassan. Welcome to the stream. Indeed, it's a win for Israel. So I just want to give, the popular vote in 2020 for Biden was 81 million and other numbers. And the popular vote for Trump was 74 million, a total of 155 million votes. The popular vote for Harris in 2024 was 66 million. And the popular vote for Trump was 71 million, a total of 138 million votes. The difference of 17 million votes. 17.1 million people did not vote. Now, that's either fishy or they literally just didn't bother voting. And it's Trump had 3 million less votes than he did the last time. And Harris had, close to 15 million votes less than Biden did just 4 years prior. I mean, those numbers right there. I mean, that is just a shocking turnout. So anyway, Zam, your thoughts?
I've had some time to digest what's happened. Obviously, I wanted Harris to win. My reasons that I don't want Trump to win is it's quite simple. I could never back a rapist, and that's always been my bog standard thing with Donald Trump, regardless of the countless other issues that I have with him. But at the same time, Kamala Harris has to appeal to her voters, people who want to vote for her. And the Democrats didn't do a good enough job. Trump's got his cult. He'll say his stupid things. Everyone loses their shit. They'll fucking vote for him. He's a rock star. And they're going to vote for him because they are enamored by his personality. They love all that shit. But Kamala had to get people to vote for her by giving good policies and making people want to vote for her because they know that she's going to serve them. And the moment she got in Tim Walz, she did the right thing. I always thought Tim Walz was Bernie Sanders 2.0, a great politician, did a lot for his people. He did a lot as governor for his people. But then she brought in people like Liz Cheney, trying to pander to the fucking Republicans, things like that. And that's going to turn off people in her base. She mentions things like the tax break and the child tax credit and shit like that. Sounds great. But when you hear Donald Trump speak, he's speaking grandiose. He's talking about big things all the fucking time. And that appeals to people. Even though he didn't build his fucking wall, he said he was going to build a wall, which is why he got him, made him president in the first place, the first time round. Kamala Harris is not offering big things. She's playing a balancing act regarding Israel, not talking about a public healthcare plan. Tim Walz is feeding fucking kids. She got Tim Walz on her side. Talk about feeding families. Talk about, making it a law that people have guaranteed time off from work and stuff like that. These are the things that would appeal to voters. None of that was there. And unfortunately, it's Hillary Clinton all over again. Yeah, my voice.
Your thoughts?
Yeah, so you got a lot of the Trump people and Republicans probably in general rah-rahing this and such, but the fallout's gonna not just be their favorite attacks. They attack the trans community, the gays, abortion issues. Like there's gonna be things that Trump and his cohorts pass that affect them. They're not gonna have childcare, school lunches for their children. Et cetera, et cetera. Like this, it's going to be a wide swath. Like the actions that take place in the next few years is going to affect everybody. We're going to have, who knows? Maybe they'll try to bring prohibition back, for alcohol and such. It's basically going to be like a theocracy, but none of the people in his cabinet are religious. They just crave power. That's what they worship. Well, Trump worships himself. And the rest of those people just worship power and money. So
they know not to go against Trump as well, in my opinion. They've learned their lesson, because a lot of these politicians, they were anti-Trump in 2016. Marco Rubio was, Lindsey Graham was, Turtle McConnell was, all of them. But they've learned not to go against him. And that's why they're all fucking on the gravy train right now, bending the knee. Same with J.D. Vance. He called him Hitler not too long ago. Said he was one of the worst things that happened to politics. Now J.D. Vance is fucking right up his coattails.
Yep. What are they going to do in the next few years? Like, okay, now I guess the only positive or whatever, however you want to spin it, is these next few years, since they have the House, they have Congress and the Senate, the Supreme Court, and the presidency. So if they don't get done exactly what they want to get done, they can't blame those, dastardly Democrats. It's all on them. So like this next election, if there is one, it's all them. So I don't get it. Like they can't play. They always play the victim. They can't do that anymore.
Well,
welcome.
Hello, Sirius. Just to quickly add to that, you look at states like Alabama. They've been shitted on by Republican policies. They still fucking vote red every time they get a chance. Sometimes just people just don't know any better.
Well, that's the thing. That's somebody I know who I won't call him a friend. He's like a gaming buddy, who I barely tolerate anymore. But he posted this thing about how, the votes were counted in Florida in like 2.5 hours, and they don't have an income tax. And I'm like, yeah, Alabama and Mississippi, not so much. The two poorest states, the most Republican and the most religious states in the country, and they're fucking. Mississippi takes in $2 in federal spending for every $1 of federal taxes raised off the citizens. So 3/4 of the red states are getting subsidies from the blue states. There's a few exceptions, but not many. And it's like this, it kind of blows my mind. It's like, I really, sometimes when they talk about, cutting aid to states and stuff, I'm like, yeah, go ahead. Because New Jersey, we're the biggest donor state. We get back like 57 cents for every dollar we put in. So fuck it. Let's get our money back here and let me see these red states fall into the goddamn abyss. And they'll still keep voting Republican. That's the fucked up part. They don't, they think that somehow they're getting something. And then, quite frankly, I got to say, now the numbers may have changed because I know the votes aren't done being counted. But when I looked this morning, he had like 72 million votes, which is around what he had last time. So he didn't, at least so far, hadn't gained a massive amount, and she was massively underperforming Biden. And I'm like, well, where the fuck are the people on our side? And I'm tired of this thing of like she has to be perfect and every single thing is examined under a microscope. Because, she's not the perfect candidate for anybody because there's no such fucking thing as a perfect candidate. But he could be what he is, the worst thing that's ever fucking walked on two legs in North America, at least in the last century. And, he just has to fucking show up. So the thing is, to the block, I mean, I agree with you. That's how it should be. The idea that, that it's all on them and they'll get held accountable. But I don't think so. I don't think it'll happen because quite frankly, they don't take accountability, and no one holds them accountable for the stuff they do now. This is the problem I have sometimes with people on my own side of the political aisle when they complain about the Democrats. No, the Democrats didn't do this and Democrats didn't do that. I'm like, well, did you look at the votes? Did you look at what happened? In the case of the Republicans had the House the last 2 years. Well, if you don't control the chamber, you don't control the agenda, which means you can't even get a vote out of committee unless the other party is willing to let it happen. So if the speaker doesn't let it happen, ain't happening. So, but no one ever fucking holds them accountable for them blocking progress. I remember at one point, we gave up counting when it hit like almost 400 bills. Well, this is back when the Democrats still controlled the House. No, sorry, it was Senate. There was almost 400 Senate bills that the Democrats had passed things that would be good. Some of them, somewhat progressive, some of them very progressive, but they weren't going to ever get a hearing in the House, so it goes nowhere. But no one ever looks at that. They just say, oh, well, the Democrats didn't do anything, and just don't look at, because they don't seem to fundamentally understand how the goddamn process works. So what I want to know is, because I'm sick and tired of hearing people like, oh, well, they didn't inspire me. You know what? Stopping fascism fucking inspires the fuck out of me. I mean, we are elected, and it's only on the center and the left in this country. What counts for the left on this country? Because the right wing, they show up no matter fucking what. They vote for people they fucking hate because they know that's the only way that they win. But we get so proprietary, like, oh well. I want someone to move me. But the other guy's a fascist, and he's gonna basically replace fucking Alito and Clarence Thomas with younger ridiculous right wingers. So now the court will be right wing for the next 30 fucking years. Where at least if Kamala had won, she could have replaced him with at least centrist, if not liberal people. But no, so it's like, what the fuck do we have to do? I'm so sick and tired, and I fucking give up. And I get to the point, because I'm somebody, I got means. I live in New Jersey. I'll still be fairly safe no matter what this heinous piece of shit does. I'm a male person. I'm not worried about getting pregnant or having abortions. I will be fine. I'm a business owner. But Jesus fucking Christ, you have to drag people kicking and screaming You know, we always talk about the right-wing people voting against their own interest. Well, we have people on the left and center in this country that don't vote for their fucking interests.
Yeah, and I think, it's by design. I get your frustration, but at the end of the day, when the severe lack of choice in your process just basically disenfranchises people, and they're fed up of the, I'll just vote for the lesser of two evils, and all this kind of shit.
So I'm going to stop you, Panny, because you know what? In a fucking parliamentary system where you vote, you don't have a lot of choice. The party decides who's standing for election in a given district, and that's it. You don't have any fucking primaries. So I don't want to hear that bullshit. You vote for this party or you vote for that party, and whichever party gets the most MPs, that's who controls the chamber, and that's who gets the prime minister, and that's it.
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Well, the thing is that's even less choice in your decision than we have.
How is that a less choice? You have a two-party
primaries. System. We have primary elections, and you can vote in the.
That's a primary to choose a president, right? And to choose
for every fucking position, all of them, all 435 people in the House, all 100 senators. There are primary elections for all of them.
Yeah, I get that. Yes, we don't have the primaries,
and we get 15%. So literally, all it would take is for like 5% more of the electorate for any candidate to change the outcome, but they don't do it, and then they complain about what they get. This country, the voters are fundamentally fucking lazy, both physically and mentally.
Right. So what we have here. So let's say, for example, in my borough, if the person that was here loses and then resigns their position, you then get a list of candidates per each party to vote for, and that's if you're a member of that party. So let's say, for example, in my district, we had 4 candidates running when the previous corrupt piece of shit bitch resigned her position to help derail Corbyn's government. And then what happened is, so where I agree with you in one regard is what happens is the choice is taken away from us by the party leaders, who then parachute in a candidate and block you from voting for the candidates that are local to the area. So my candidate, just like the previous candidate, is not from around here. She has no connection. Whereas the other 4 candidates that ran, they were all socialist candidates. So of course, the centre-right, that is Starmer's Labour, blocked them. But outside of that, if you had a proper democratic process, because we don't even have that in the UK and people are disillusioned, we do have more choice. But what you do have is this shitty system where we don't even have ranked choice voting. We don't have, it's just first past the post in everything that we do. Right. And that is massively anti-democratic. And it's by design. Obviously, I'm not going to sit here and say, England, the only difference between, say, England and the United States, like most of Europe, there's a lot more parties to choose from. And the good thing with this election round is the independent left and the Greens did very, very well, picking up a collective of 10 seats altogether. And that bodes well because, look, this election in the UK, it was just always going to be get the Tories out, get Labour in. Everyone knows that Starmer's Labour are just right-wing and they're garbage. And they've proven that with the policies that they've done. And but it was just a question of getting the Conservatives out. The next election and the one after that are going to be the more interesting ones in the UK, because you're going to see a bigger shift to the far right with Reform and to the left with, say, the Greens and Independents. But we're lucky we have that choice. Over at your side, you don't have that choice. And the Democrats themselves do a lot of shit to block progressive candidates. All right. And we saw like 2020, how they did Bernie over again and again in 2016. They do it all the time and they just dig their own grave. And then they get in, they do down the middle bipartisan bollocks, and you end up where you end up. And I know it frustrates you.
But the thing, though, is that our voters shifted to the right, not to the left. So why would people vote if people want some leftist thing here? Why would they vote more to the right wing? It's ultra right now. You know what I'm saying? And the thing is now, as far as primaries here, you can't parachute a guy in from outside of the district. They have to live in the district. And so, and the thing is, and the reason why we don't have more choices as far as the parties go, it's not that we couldn't. There's nothing fundamentally that would prevent it. The problem is that the other parties that are out there, the Greens and all of them, most of them do not run candidates other than for president. There's like my district, there was no Green Party for like the House. There was no Green Party for the Senate. And that's not the Democrats' fault. That's not the Republicans' fault. You got to get somebody, and you got to get enough signatures and get them on the slate. That's it. That's all you have to do. And the Greens have their own primary, and only people who are green get to vote for them. So they could have put somebody up as leftist as they wanted. I don't know whether I doubt they would win, but they could do it. But they don't, because they basically put up vanity candidates, because these guys are fucking. You guys have at least, like, your Greens seem to be like sensible people. Over here, they're fucking nuts, because basically they think, oh, I'm going to run for president and we'll be there and we'll change all this shit. And they don't seem to fundamentally understand that if you don't have support in the House and the Senate, your agenda goes nowhere, because the bills get introduced typically in the House. If you don't have somebody in the House and you don't control the legislative chamber, you're never going to get anything. So that's why my thing was, like, with Bernie, I would have been happy to vote for Bernie if he was the candidate. But the thing is that, if he didn't have the House on his side, he wouldn't be able to put forth anything at all, zero, because that's the way our system is built. So, that sucks. But that's just the way it is. And I had people say, oh, well, Bernie will get rid of the Electoral College, which made me laugh, because the president has literally zero action or any power at all as far as it comes to constitutional amendments. That's the House and the Senate and the states. And the president is not part of that whatsoever. They can stump for it.
Let me just cut you off there for 1 second. I just need to ask, because there are certain things that a president can take an executive decision on, right? What kind of stuff is that on?
Okay, I'll be right there. They can make decisions on stuff that is basically how the executive branch is going to deal with the funds that they've been given. Congress allocates the funds, and the president and the executive branch gets to kind of decide how they're allocated to a point. There's some limits. But they have a certain amount of leeway. They can deploy the military for a short period of time without congressional approval. They can, and basically it has to do with policy of the executive branch. That's it. They can't make law. They can't get rid of laws. They can't add laws. That's not in their power. Yeah, okay. They can sign a bill into law that the Congress has voted for, but they can't overturn a law. They can veto a law that comes to them. But once it's in the law, they have no power to get rid of it.
Okay, well, there you go.
I'll be back if you guys are still on. Dinner just showed up.
Yeah, I'm just going to remove you from the panel and I'll see you when I see you.
All right.
All right. Let's go to. Oh shit! I just removed him completely. Sorry, serious. Whoops. Shit.
It's fine. You've got the link. You can come back.
Click on the link. Let's have a look here. Oh, the comments are going wild, baby. Let's see, Kamala wasn't even elected; she was appointed. That's the opposite of them. Well, it that all falls into the funding thing, because there's a certain window for campaign funds, so they couldn't go to a primary, because then there's like a whole mess to do with campaign donations that would have fucked everything up. So that's why they had to pick Kamala. I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. Again, I might not know. Block, I don't know if you know about this, but I think they missed the window because they chose not to do primaries on Biden, and that's why.
Sorry to interrupt. Look, you want to make this is the Steven Step Survival here. If you want to make comments, victory laps and stuff like that, liberal tears, fair enough. Don't make fun of Joe's weight, calling him fatty and things like that, making fun of dinner. There's no need for that. All right.
Who did that?
Be productive. The Steven Step Survival. He made another comment about his weight earlier, which I deleted. But if he does it one more time, I'm gonna kick him out of the group.
Yeah, stop behaving like a childish right winger, like you all do, by going down to derogatory comments on people. Be productive. I know it's hard for you to process that in your mind, but be nice. You know, we're all here for like you could do all the liberal tears things and all that. It's hilarious because you're just as fucked as the rest of the liberals as well, in the sense that what's to come? Project 2025. Ooh, that's going to be a hoot and a half. You're going to have Trump's tariff wars that are going to come as well, which is just going to basically make your lives even more expensive. And you're going to have no FTC. They'll probably disband that. The EPA will probably be gone as well. Cut back on regulations. That means pollution galore and fracking galore. And the Middle East is basically going to get bombed into oblivion now because Trump is just going to give Netanyahu a blank check, troops, and more weapons. And your so-called president of peace is just going to be a complete warmonger this time around. There's nothing stopping him. You know what I mean? There's nothing stopping him. Block.
We'll definitely get more involved in the Middle East come January, if it's still going as it's going. And I don't see why, like, I get it. We've all trolled before or whatever. I have too. But like, Trump is, forget all the policies if you could, just as a human being, a person, I don't see why they're celebrating, yeah, this person that, you know, cheat on his wives, bankruptcies, and is a racist. Like, stuff he's actually done is racist. It's not people like putting words in his mouth. Stuff he's actually done or said was racist, sexist. Stuff he said about his daughter, like basic human being things. So I don't see why people would celebrate that. Now, Kamala wasn't perfect, and I didn't really like her, but I'm like, I don't see how you'd celebrate Trump. Yay, we got a horrible human being as our leader. Yay. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
I couldn't, like I said, I still can't look past the fact that he's a convicted rapist and people want to vote for this guy. But they do, and they think he's going to appeal to them. A lot of people in the chat right now, they're genuinely very happy. But if any of them happen to be American, they're going to be affected by the next 4 years by Donald Trump. So good luck to all you guys. I mean, he's not going to affect me. I don't even live in your country.
But this is the funny thing. They're all sitting there dancing around, doing all these cartwheels and circles, completely forgetting the 4 years that he was in charge and how many jobs he outsourced a record number of jobs. All right, he cut you one fucking check during COVID, and all these cronies blocked him from doing anything more. Okay, he, you know, fucking like the guy. I just, for me personally, it's the most entertaining part is going to be the next 4 years for us, because the leopards eat my face crew are just, they're in for a rude awakening. The pygmies are in for a rude awakening. The women that voted for Trump are in for a rude awakening, and I'm going to love every minute of it. Obviously, I feel bad for women because they're women, gays, and trans folk, because they're just going to face untold discrimination, and it's not fair on them. But at the same time, the chaos that will unfold for us here across the pond is just going to be, you know, massively entertaining. It was very entertaining the last time round, seeing the absolute shit show that was Trump's presidency. And so it's going to be very entertaining this time round. And I plan on having a lot of fun with it this time round. I wasn't ready last time, but this time I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. And yeah, just, you know, he's not going to make your lives any better. Project 2025, as there's nothing in it that improves your lives as a working class person. If you think Biden was useless on economics and inflation, wait and see what Trump does. Unless, you know, he manages to whip a few people around to dropping prices. But you need to understand your prices are, it's all fucking controlled by your supermarkets and your corporations who have monopoly on your food, and they just jacked up the prices for the sake of it. Doesn't matter who was in charge, they were going to do it anyway after COVID, because even here in the UK everything's gone up after COVID. Everything just went up all over the world. They used the war in Ukraine.
I can't believe it. We won. everyone, we won. Here I am. It's time for me to start winning. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. I am a true godly fellow. I have
Biggest
just
win
won.
ever.
I have won the presidential election because I am so one with God. Me and Putin pray every night together on the phone. Please, Lord, let me enjoy this win before I
By the way,
die from a stroke.
good to see funeral friend back. Welcome back, mate.
If you're a friend,
Rusty
hello, mate.
Rivers, you sound like a fucking porn star. Is this MSNBC?
Also, if your river is rusty, you might want to take some pills for that. You know.
Yeah.
But is this MSNBC? No, of course not, because we would be sitting here blaming the left because Kamala lost. Because this is what the centrists are going to do. They're going to come out and they're going to blame the left. They're going to blame everyone else. They're not going to take responsibility, and they're not going to learn anything from it. They're going to push further to the right.
They never
They're not
learn
going to
anything.
realize that. I mean, appeasing, like getting Liz Cheney and Bill Clinton on the stand, that was the death knell. That was it. Let alone the genocide in Gaza, which did have a huge ripple effect. And that was a death knell. And, they ran a really poor campaign. And I know serious-minded it can't fathom or understand why so many people would have voted. I mean, I can't fathom it either, so I'm not going to chastise him for that. But at the end of the day, people just had enough. They've just had enough, and they're just like, fuck it. Come see, come sir. Let's just enjoy the death.
Here. He says no more war. Trump has been bragging about wanting to go to war with Iran, as well as Mexico, by the way, regarding the cartels. But he wants to he's basically going to let Benjamin Netanyahu wipe out the Palestinians now, and he wants to go to a war with Iran. He mentioned about blowing them up to smithereens. I remember that particular comment he said. It's going to be interesting to see if that happens, and sending troops abroad, of course, to die for the Israelis. I hope you guys are okay with that.
I mean, I keeping an eye on the political spectrum. Like it's just like, man, it's gonna be fun 4 years. Oh my God! Like, listen, I don't have anything to worry about because I'm a white straight male. So like, but I fear for my friends who aren't. So like that's the biggest frustration is like I get to sit here and watch, and unfortunately it's going to be like a losing battle when it comes to anything. We have treated our veterans like shit and our military like shit. Well, not our military, but like our veterans like shit for decades. So you can't sit here and tell me that one side cares. Oh God, D Jose's here. I should have known when I saw that comment.
Join us, Jose. Join us.
Yeah, join us, DH. It'll be fun.
I'll send you the link on Twitter.
You can make fun of my haircut as much as you want, because on this day everything is great. But yeah, like I mean, they don't get. They've never given a like Democrat and Republican have never given a shit about our veterans. So I mean. Yeah, it's very sad. But with this whole election, I knew it. Like, I knew it going into it. I knew when the representative came out at like 9:00 or something last night Eastern, and he said, "Oh, you're not going to be seeing the vice president tonight." I knew it. Like, it was over at that point. You know what I mean? Like, even though they weren't calling it, the news networks and everything is like, yeah, no, this is done. This is over. Healthcare equals abortion to libtards.
Healthcare equals abortion to live. You should have been aborted, Corn Star. Love the username, by the way, sir. It's a great username. It's Jose's
Is
on his
Rick
way.
B in
Winslow,
here?
if you want to join us, feel
Oh
free.
yeah, Rick B's in there. His people are here. His people. We are the minority this time. Rick B is the majority when it comes to the chat.
Actually unhappy because now he's not the only gay in the village anymore, are you, Rick B?
That's right.
So you're gonna
Rick
have
B
to
invite all of
invested with MAGA, and you know what? We welcome it. Welcome
bring
to the
it.
stream, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Vent your joy, vent your celebrations in the comments. It's all good. Just give me a cup. I just ask one thing from the MAGA commenters. Give me a couple of policies that Trump's going to implement that you think are going to benefit the working class? How it's going to improve that rent prices, house prices, your workers' rights, your wages, and give
I
me
have a
some of that.
semblance of a plan. It's okay. My plan is a semblance. It will be sembled
That's not a
eventually.
policy. Drill baby drill. It's just a term. A bit like building the wall. It never really happened. I mean,
The
don't.
problem
And
with
I've
the
heard.
left is that they group everyone into buckets and talk down with a different opinion than their own. Then they say unity, joy, and fairness. Oh, fairness. I'll take it you say.
But
Paul. Let's be perfectly honest. Every group, be they center, be they left, be they right, okay, every group has that issue. Now, the right comes out and votes in droves because that they have that in mind, to do that, and that's what makes them strong in that regard. But in terms of infighting, in terms of labeling and bickering and all of that, every side is as bad as each other, and that's more so in the States than anywhere else, because you guys have the worst kind of tribal mentality, because you're raised on the notion of individualism and I must be above all and everyone's a competition with me. And so every little faction, be they in, let's say a Star Trek fandom or a political thing, there's little breakaway factions of little things, and they'll argue instead of just enjoying the product for what it is or its history for what it was. They'll break off and they'll argue into little segments, and politics is no different. But if you compare that to the UK, the left is very much united over here. That's why we had a good turnout for the election this time. That's why we now have 10 representatives, and that's about to double because Starmer's Labour is whipping the left-wing candidates within the party, who are then just going to run as an independent and win in their constituency, no problem, which just doubles our numbers. But you're spot on about, again, the American left, but don't just think of it as just the American left. A lot of them do that. You're very tribal in a lot of things, and it's just silly. Jose, welcome to the stream. Your thoughts? Goddamn right, Ricky.
All right. Well, first of all, that guy with the fucked up haircut, he's absolutely wrong. I am the greatest president of all time. No one here can fuck with me. Project 2025 is going to go into full effect. I know I denied it, but I lied. I'm like the late, great Eddie Guerrero. I lie, I cheat, and I steal. It's what I do. But on a serious note, things are going to get freaking crazy here in the next few years, y'all. It's going to be a wild, wild time. I knew that it was over when he got shot and then he got his ear grazed and he did that pose. He was like, fuck yeah. That's when I knew he was going to win this thing. And when Biden dropped out, the Dems panicked and Kamala was like, oh shit, what am I going to do? She only had 107 days to campaign. That was nowhere near enough time. And that's where the Democrats fucked up.
Yeah. I just want to go into this comment here. The center is now, the center is gone. There is no center now. It's just right, far right, and then left.
Yep.
There's no far left. People go on about far left. Far left are the anarchists. Who cares about them? But there's left, then there's right and far right. And that's it. But America doesn't have that in their politics, by the way. America has right and far right. That's it. Same as the UK. Right now, although we have a couple of left-wing parties, the two main parties, three main parties are just all kind of center right wing. But Labour and the Tories are both right wing, equally right wing. There's fucking no distinction in terms of policies between the two. And then you have the Lib Dems that are center right, and then you have the Greens that are left wing.
Just a good comment here from
but they're not a main party.
Mass deportations aren't possible. Shit is too costly. A lot of the time when politicians get into power, they say they're going to offer you the world, they're going to do this, that, and the other, and a lot of the times they don't. And I feel with some of the things that Trump will want to do, this mass deportation thing might not necessarily be possible. Personally, I think he's going to be playing a lot of golf. He's going to be almost in his 80s. I think he's only become president so he doesn't go to jail. And he's going to probably let, unfortunately, his cronies probably run the White House. whilst he lives up large. And another question here from Cornstar: what is a male? Well, it ain't you, mate.
That's right. You're a piece of corn. You know, don't discriminate against gender. You're just corn. So, well,
Hello,
I
Tim,
just
by the
go
way.
to this comment here. This whole mass deportation plan ain't gonna happen. The most that they will do is enforce a bit of borders. And that's the thing. Like, unless they go to the extreme, you're right. But it is a tool that the right use all the time. You know, immigration's out of control and we need border security and all this kind of crap. It's a platform they run on, you know, and they did it over here as well. Fuck, even like Labour did it over here as well. Talk about they got to toughen up border security and all this kind of crap. The problem is when you cut funding to things and you don't have better checks and balances at your home office or, you know, your board or whatever the equivalent is in the state. Again, I'll go back to the UK here, so apologies for that. Over here, the Conservative Party, they massively cut funding to the Home Office. They also made it a lot harder for people to use proper legal channels so that they could be vetted and checked. And so we've had not just boat crosses, but people just coming here, like, you know, on a plane, straight through the airport, unchecked, and bang, that's it. They're in the system now. They're working and all this kind of shit. And when you don't have a robust Home Office to kind of vet people, you just have out of control immigration, and that works to the right's advantage because they'll never take responsibility for their own actions. They'll just keep blaming everyone else for it. And so what you have is a fantastic cash cow of policy here where you can keep saying it and keep using it as an excuse, which rolls up people, like we had the race riots over here, which rolls up people and gets you them votes. And Trump's going to be no different. He'll probably not do anything that drastic in terms of immigration, the wall, deportation, all this kind of shit. Because even when he was president, he even blocked funding for the wall. Mitch McConnell said that himself, so you can check that out. So he can keep running on it. And that's what they'll do. They'll keep 20 years down the line. They'll just still keep running on the same thing. Immigration's out of control and we need to stop them. It's like, well, what did you do when you were in charge? You know, that kind of thing.
I love hold on. Where's the comment at? Oh, I love David Van Heiden's comment. He says, the longer she campaigned, the worse she got, you idiot. I'm like, Trump's been campaigning for like almost a decade, and you think he's gotten better?
Yeah.
Listen, Trump is the president that the United States deserves at this point. Like that is the sheer hard cold fact is that we are so far gone that he is the president we deserve. And I said this back in 2016. I really did. You know, and it's just like, yep, we're still there. We are the Stockholm syndrome of the world. Like the United Stockholm of America of the Americas. Like, yeah,
It's the pinnacle of horrible. Well, that is until my dream ticket of Marjorie Taylor Greene and Laura Boebert.
Fair enough. By the way, it was just so you know, it was a Republican who tried to assassinate Donald Trump.
I think at least one of those were a setup anyway. I think that was
the second one felt more of a setup, but the first one he did get shot.
Did you see the phone one where someone threw a phone at him and they thought it was a bomb or something?
No.
Did they? I don't want your damn dick pics.
Look at this democratic demographic. Like, yeah, we happen to come from planet Earth, mate. What do you expect?
They all fit the lib appearance. I look like a fucking gammon. In the UK, I'd be classed as a gammon, a skinhead, red-faced. How dare you?
I'm going to get artificially inseminated and I'm going to go for abortion straight afterwards.
Listen, all I got to do is go get my pillowcase and I'll look like a right-winger. I'll just cut 2 holes in it and put it.
I mean, look, I mean, and look at Block. Block is look at him. He is a fucking Aryan wet dream, chiseled, blonde.
That's what I'm saying.
Spalding, come on, we got this.
Yeah, you know, Jose and Jose will probably get shot by the police, and Zam will end up in Guantanamo Bay. That's fair enough.
Yeah.
The rest of us are fine. We're good. You know.
Ricky, nobody cares about being cool. This isn't about being cool, man. Like
they do have pointy hats, by the way. They use it for other streams, so that demographic thing's a bit far fetched.
Aren't you all late for your transition surgeries? Hey,
it's never a little bit late.
Never
too
late.
It can wait.
Yeah, you know, I think my problem is my dick's too big and it's just going to take forever to cut it down. And so what's currently happening is they are training tree surgeons, you know, them great big California redwoods that they have that help fix and cut those down. They're training one of those people to then come and then surgically remove my penis. So until then, you're just going to have to deal with this absolute empowerment of masculinity.
Right. So the problem is too much girth. It's too girthy.
Yes, I do. I put a comment up. I do agree with this one. The Dems just hand Trump the election on a platter, and that's not untrue. You know what I mean? Like their mismanagement of this whole thing, they basically handed it to him. Yeah, and Gus, Gus, thank you for your comments. They're nice. They're sensible. Everything else just seems a little bit. Oh, everything. A lot of it is just trolling. Like a lot of these, is just stupid trolling. So you guys just keep commenting. It's okay. We'll just stay in your analytics for a long time.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you, idiots, for the engagement, by the way, because all you're doing by trolling us, you're engaging with us, so you're giving us your views. So thank you for that.
I miss being trolled. I really do.
I love it.
I love it.
We don't want to be in an echo chamber. We want to hear what the heartbeat of America is saying, like Vince McMahon's heartbeat in his penis. Yeah, fuck echo chambers. You know what I mean? Well, yes, pretty 24 viewers, even though it shows 40 on mine because they're probably coming off of my channel as well. Because we don't do this often. We've
got 2 channels.
We don't. But we just here for the fun of it because it's just America. The final season is basically kicked in, and like I said to all the libs in the comments and in the chat, don't feel too bad. This is what every empire goes through towards the end. They descend into fascism. They descend into chaos. They descend to a rapid change of leaders, as we've seen here. I know one's come back, but we're still getting like one-term presidents in between that. And then we got second term because the other candidate was a pile of shit. And after Trump, so now here's the interesting thing. If the status quo doesn't change in terms of Trump doesn't clamp down and create a fascist nation, when he's gone, what's next for the right? Because there's not going to be another Trump. I mean, Ron DeSantis tried, and Ron DeSantis is a bigger fucking fascist than Trump is, and he just got laughed out the building.
Ron DeSantis plays higher hills than some of the trans women I know.
Yeah, and he can't even talk for shit. So what's next after Trump? That's going to be the interesting thing. But by that point, the Christo-fascists would have probably solidified power, and so it wouldn't really matter who the candidate is because you're not going to get the chance to vote.
Eric Trump doesn't have the charisma.
Yeah.
Eric Trump will not have the charisma to
renew themselves. Yes. I don't know what you mean by that, Carl. I must have missed it. 98% of women said the biggest turnoff in a man was left-wing news. No, that is not fucking true at all. They said that the biggest turnoff is it men who get
that's my problem.
Electoral or something like that, which I'm screwed. No. We're not the R Word channel. We are the NerdTube channel. Get it right, David. Dick in your Palmer. GG underestimates JD Vance. The guy has no charisma. I don't underestimate his evilness. Don't get me wrong. Like I don't underestimate anyone that comes after Trump to be an evil piece of shit. But in terms of charisma and getting the crowd rolled up and going, nobody else has that. Trump had it because Trump's a celebrity. Yeah, but he's not just celebrity. He's a fantastic talker. He's a great personality. And people always forget, look what he ran on in 2016. He ran a fake populist platform. And those fake populist views, most of them, except for the racism stuff, was stuff that Bernie was championing as well. And of course, he didn't deliver on any of it.
Of course not.
And this time round, he didn't even give any policies this time round. He just said, kill immigrants, kill the press, vote for me. And people voted for him. And it's
No, he had
hilarious.
a plan. He said on all the questions about policies, we got a plan. We're thinking about a plan. It's going to be the greatest plan ever. What more do you need to know?
Yeah, that's it. And JD Vance looks good. It's not that his debating skills are good. It's just that Tim Walz just held back because he's an idiot. Because they went soft on JD Vance for some reason.
Don't make any mistakes about it. Like, we are not sitting here championing the left either, or championing the Kamala Harris. We're not championing them. Like, there were a lot of missteps with the Democratic Party recently. Like, the Democrats did not give us much to love.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like,
look, they're the ones that are getting the butt of the criticism here because they're stupid. They ran a stupid campaign. They didn't offer anything, and so people on the liberals and the left will just like whatever, man. You know what I mean? So
projection right here, by the way.
What
Tampon Timmy is it?
Tampon Timmy?
Mate, hello. Who's the guy? Who's
Walz.
the guy that was on Epstein's Island? Who's the guy that was walking on 15-year-old girls getting changed at beauty pageants? That's your guy.
Oh yeah, that was me. Sorry, that was Donald Trump. Me.
Guy who loves P Diddy as well. Loads of
Photographed
pictures of him with
multiple
P. Diddy
times with P Diddy
and Jeffrey Epstein, as you mentioned.
and Jeffrey Epstein.
MAGA welcomes you aboard.
Yeah, Bill Clinton too. Throw them both under the bus. I have no,
Throw Bill Clinton under him. Bill Clinton is, he's not a fucking liberal. You know what I mean? Bill Clinton's a fuckwit.
And just because you mentioned Bill Clinton doesn't give Donald Trump a pass. He's a nonce.
And it's terrible whataboutism.
Yeah, and here's the thing with Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, I don't give a fuck what anyone says. Bill Clinton was the first black president. Bill Clinton smoked some weed. Bill Clinton got some old. I don't give a fuck what people say. Bill Clinton is the first black motherfucker we ever had because he was like, I'll play the saxophone. I'll steal some furniture out the White House. And that's what the fuck he did. Bill was a gangster. He didn't play that shit.
and he fucked big booty girls as well. So,
Yeah.
He was as black as they come. So, yeah. Anyone that argues against that is a racist.
That's right. You can't say anything against it. Because DH said it. And that's racist.
I mean, he did bang Hillary, so there's a knock against him.
Yeah, that's true. He did bang Hillary. But I think, truth be told, I think Hillary had him. Like, I think Hillary was holding him hostage.
Yeah, but to be fair, Bill was getting his knob slobbed under the desk by Monica. So, I mean, yeah, to counteract
Bill Clinton
Hillary,
has fucked everything in a skirt. There is nothing that guy hasn't fucked. You know what I mean?
He's the Dave Bautista of politics.
Yeah.
He is the Dave Bautista of politics. He fucked everything. And also, by the way, let's not give Biden a pass here because he's been accused multiple times of sexual assault.
Oh yeah,
he's always groping and very horrible, like too close and clingy and grabby with women and all that. So he doesn't get a pass. Like, we're not here like nobody should defend this kind of behavior. I mean, you guys on the right do because you don't care. In fact, you have complete disdain for women.
We can tell you flat to your face and give you facts, and you still will be like, Trump's the greatest ever. We love him. We think that Epstein was robbed of his day in court. Listen, all these politicians are just fucking.
All of them are full of shit. That's why we call them pottyticians, because it's what they are.
Damn, Jose, in with that kill shot there.
No, I'm a Funko Pop collector.
He's a Funko Pop collector.
Not any of these. Not any of these hosers over here. No. By the way, Ginger, you see my new ones though? See that right there?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The original ones from the original comics.
I don't give a shit. They suck.
You know what? Fuck you.
I will make those Funko Pops your butt plug. They are the worst. There is no skill involved in making those fucking things.
Yep.
It's just a big head and a small body.
Oh,
just
like Marvel
Trump.
Legends. Get out of here. Look at that.
But-
Oh.
There is art that goes into Marvel.
There
Legends. Look at
there is
that.
a
That looks like a
mold. There is a
monstrosity.
mold that goes into to Marvel
I
Legends.
just don't like. Once again, this comment here, like we just mentioned that Donald Trump has been photographed with Diddy countless times. It's like when the right goes on about Epstein all the time, forgetting the fact that Donald Trump and Epstein are best buddies. Like, what the fuck? He's been on Lolita Express and all of that shit.
Hang on. Let me get the pictures up.
Yeah, but like y'all said, we're not going to be giving Biden a pass either. Because let's be real, dude is nowhere near as sharp as he was like 15 years ago when Obama was president. You can
He's
see
still
it.
being pedophile. 15 years ago, he was still.
He's a fucking vegetable.
Yep.
Look at that conversation. Best fucking buds.
The Epstein list, as far as the Epstein list, it's not going to get out. I'm totally convinced there's no way you'll see the Epstein list. Won't be happening.
Sorry, Dan.
That was me.
Press that again. So, whoever was. Vance Tulsi would be a serious race. Whew, yeah, I mean, Tulsi will fit right in there perfectly. Backstabbing, two-faced fuckwit. So,
Just because you have photos of Trump with Epstein doesn't mean Trump with Epstein. I don't need to hear facts. I need blind loyalty.
Xanax and antidepressant shortages in blue states currently. Don't worry, they'll be coming to the red states.
Did you guys see? Have you guys seen like all the? Did you guys see like all the meltdowns though? Like all the liberals, like they are melting down. It's like, guys, come on now, man. I'm independent. I admittedly I voted for Kamala, but I knew she wasn't going to win. I'm like, there's no way in hell she was going to win. It's Trump's to take, and that's what
The
happened.
people that are melting down for me are, we said earlier, like people I know who are gay, people I know who are trans. They're the ones who are really worried. They are really worried because you've seen like Trump when it came to the end of his campaign, a lot of it was just anti-trans rhetoric. You know, trans people don't even represent like a percentage of the planet. You would think there's fucking trans people everywhere. The way the right wing go on about them, but that isn't the case.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The comments here are just fucking fire.
I mean, there
is some precedence for this. Like 100 years ago when they passed prohibition and no one thought that could happen. So it's possible to have enough religious weirdos to get in power that they could pass some crazy stuff.
Oh, they will. That's the best part.
The porn ban, that'll be interesting if they get that one out. Because apparently JD Vance wants to ban pornography. But I think it's in Utah. Pornography is being banned, and hence VPNs are being sold quite a lot now in Utah, so they can get around the porn ban. Because you have to give your details and stuff like that if you want to watch porn in Utah and stuff like that. It's crazy, the land of the free, where you can't even fucking watch porn.
Well, that's what, and I bet you if you look at the search history of all those people who are voting to ban porn, guess what their search history is full of?
Yeah,
porn.
Yeah, a lot of incest porn as well.
Yeah.
Puppets of the deep state are Biden and Harris. Brain dead. Look, the latter part, brain dead, incompetent, absolutely. But puppets of the deep state, that's literally fucking the majority of Congress. And what deep state? It's just billionaires funding everything, corporations controlling and running everything. It's not a deep state when you can fucking see it happening right in front of you. You know.
Sorry, just to straight. He's not playing ball right now. He usually does come here, but I have a Sun Konya and 2 pineapple Konyas, and they're busy at this moment, just scratching the walls
on my pizza.
Yeah, that's right-wing logic there. Porn is being banned in Utah, but you can marry underage brides. Yes, child brides.
I'm really glad she brought that up because there was a really good commercial I saw where this 13-year-old girl goes to an adoption agency to try and get a kid, and they wouldn't let her have the kid because she's 13. But at the same time, if she gets knocked up, she has to have the fucking kid. They're kind of showing you the hypocrisy regarding things like abortion bans and stuff like that. That 13-year-old people can not adopt kids, but they can give birth to them, and they have to keep them, especially under this new anti-abortion law.
And as George Carl
bullshit copium here. I'm kicked Epstein out of Mar-a-Lago when Epstein switched from finance to young girls. Yeah, sure, pal. Keep telling yourself that.
I believe everything I read on the internet.
Yeah.
There's that famous quote Trump made about how he'd walk in onto the teenage beauty pageants and catch them naked and stuff like that, but he could do that, but he owned the building and he could get away with that stuff. He said that on Howard Stern. He said that on Howard Stern. I've heard him say that.
His own words.
Yeah, his own words. He's a nonce. And if you don't know what a nonce is, look it up.
I'm sure 90% of our chat is Americans right now. So except for
exactly,
Rick, he's just a troll.
But again, Carl, look, I'm not disputing the, your federal agencies, your CIAs and all that, because I mean the CIA basically just runs its own does its own thing wherever it wants for the benefit of the billionaires and your corporations and all that kind of crap. But it's not a deep state. A deep state means like it's all done super secret and nobody knows about it. But it's there. You can fucking get the evidence there all the time. And you can see it being done in real time, and it's obvious what's being done. This isn't new. You call it the deep state because your country is always clouded in secrecy, but the rest of the world knows what's going on. They see it all the fucking time. So
we're too close to it, and we let them pull the wool over our eyes because we're American and we think we know everything. We're like the teenagers of the world. We think we know everything, but yet we know like not much at all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Law and order will be restored by a man with more felonies.
Oh, sweet! The TV show's coming back. Oh,
Law and Order's coming back.
Yeah.
Oh, a lot of women are that have dealt with Trump are going to be on special victims unit. That's for sure.
Rick B with the Rick. Oh, go ahead with that
National Security Mafia owns members of Congress.
Yeah,
no shit.
No shit. Like
no shit. Yeah.
Listen, but I'm going to call. I want to call her Busty Rivers. I really do, even if it's a
Busty.
Yeah,
I'm actually enjoying this nonsense. One of you lunatics doing it again.
Well, we do a lot of streams of various stuff. You can join us if you like other stuff outside of politics. We review a lot of movies and TV shows and video games and God knows what else. We do reactions and all of that sort of stuff. So you can join this motley crew of libtards if you like, and knock yourself out.
And and you sign up for Ginger's OnlyFans. He does all these discussions in a Speedo.
Absolutely. I might even show you my butthole. Now that is the deep state. More like a bloody canyon. But in terms of this kind of stuff, so we did used to do a regular podcast called The World's Gone Insane every Friday at 9:00. And the thing is, because of the shit show that's about to happen,
we might have to bring it back.
Yeah, we might end up bringing it back.
Yeah.
So just
subscribe to us and give us a like too, for fuck's sake.
Yeah, and I'll show you. Yeah, and I'll show you the thumbnail. So just keep an eye out. Obviously, there's a lot of other good stuff to look at in terms of just reviews, just general fun and silliness that we do have.
Mr. Sideboom, my mom serves dinner usually at 5:00 sharp, but I don't live with her anymore, so I unfortunately can't
my mom
dinner anymore.
My mom, we say mum here.
My mom with a U.
My mom.
Yeah,
my mama with an O.
Hello. Just 1 second, Serious. Just want to
hey guys.
Bring him back.
Oh, I just want to say real quick, Penny, before when I'm yelling, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just very angry.
No, dude, don't worry about it. Yell away. I get the frustration. It's all
I yell at him all the time. He just gets turned on by it.
Yeah, Rusty, when you see this thumbnail pop up, that's the podcast.
This is our website. Those on the Ginger Greek stream.
There's
check us
also
out
the
here.
Ginger Greek stream and NerdTube.
Yeah, so check us out on here. This is the NerdTube site, so you can find this.
Yeah. So
come love us. Come rub our nipples. It'll be fine.
So, Sirius, what time does your mom serve dinner as well? We're getting some nice questions.
Well, I have played D&D once, and I wasn't a big fan. So, not that I have a problem with it. I'm just saying I wasn't a big fan.
Well, when we play D&D or D&D like games, we generally will because the friends are over, some of them are remote, and we will have snacks during the game, and then At a certain point, after like roughly 4 hours, we will have a meal, and then we'll go back.
Ooh,
Lovely.
yeah.
Fucking nerd.
And sometimes that meal is something we've cooked. Sometimes it's we ordered in pizza or Chinese or something like that because we're feeling lazy.
Do you get any fights that break out in D&D games?
Not really. When we were younger, sometimes
Not really.
it would get
Sometimes.
when we were younger, we would get more heated. But now we're all older. We're all in our 50s, and it's kind of like occasionally, like, because I'm usually the GM, so sometimes I'll make a ruling. But again, if they basically, my thing is always make your case. You think I'm wrong, or you think I should look at it a different way. You make your case, and if I think you made your case, cool. If I don't, then the answer is no, and conversation's over. we move on.
That's what I'm like.
So I have a question for you from my cousin who asked me earlier. He wanted to know, what's your business?
My business? I have a company. We do automation and control systems.
Okay,
That sounds like a liberal business.
And basically, and we're across, both manufacturing and municipal. So I've done stuff in pharma, food and beverage, dairy, power generation, water and wastewater, specialty chemical, bulk chemical, packaging. So most industries. We really haven't done oil and gas. Well, that's not entirely true. We did do some stuff, but not a lot in oil and gas. We used to do more. It's actually probably even that too. So, which is really neat because there's so many different industries. And what's really fun is we've even done confection. But what's really funny is that there's certain, most industries, if you going to try to work there, in that industry, and they're like, well, what experience do you have with what we do? And the thing is, a valve is a valve, a pump's a pump. There's different types of pumps, there's different types of valves, but a gate valve is a gate valve, a centrifugal pump is a centrifugal pump. And so in pharmaceutical, there's a piece of equipment called a pan coater, and what it looks like a clothes dryer that's kind of on an angle. And you put the tablets in, and it spins, and you shoot the active ingredient in, and based on the speed that you turn it, and the rate that you spray in the ingredient, the temperature, humidity, all that, that determines how thick the layer of the active ingredient is, and that's how they get the so many milligrams of this, so many milligrams of that. And so what's kind of funny is that exact same equipment made by the same manufacturer is used to put the coating on M&Ms.
That was a payoff I didn't expect.
It sounds really manly, masculine shit you're doing. You sure you're a liberal? You sure? Like,
look at that glorious swastika there. That is some glorious right wing right there, baby.
Yeah, maybe they're Hindu. You never know. But regardless, Gus,
I think Rick's got a point here.
Well, he called us fat betas, which I just laugh anytime someone's like, because of course if they're calling someone a beta, of course the belief then is that they are somehow an alpha, and I'm like, you know what? You have to tell me you're an alpha. You're not. Just like you have to tell me you're cool. You aren't.
Right. I've seen milk tea and gravy seals. Sorry.
Your mom tells you she loves you. She doesn't.
Regarding Kamala not going on
not to my mom.
My favorite interaction ever with somebody who called me a beta and a cuck and the usual things. So you betas, you're only nice to women so you'll get sex. And I'm like, I don't think you understand how genetics works and what the whole concept of the alpha was, because even though it's bullshit. Because if we're the ones having sex and presumably procreating, that would make us the alphas if alphas were really a thing.
What does that make me? I'm just an asshole to everybody. I mean, what is that?
Am I
women and men?
If I want to have sex with them, is that how it works?
Well, that's the funny thing is these guys they were coming, and a lot of them are incels or TFLers. My favorite thing about I call them the He-Man Woman Haters Club. Collectively, the MRAs, the TFLs, the incels, and every MGTOW.
We've got a few incels in the comment section today.
You name it. And if you get it wrong and call them the wrong wing of the He-Man Woman Haters Club, they get pissed off. But they all say the exact same shit. They're carbon copies of one another, but if you call a TFL or an MRA and vice versa, they'll freak the fuck out.
So I just want to go to some comments here before we. So there was. Oh, sorry, not that one. Where is it? So, serious, your thoughts on this? Do you think Kamala not kind of Joe Rogan experience hurt her chances on this election?
No, because I don't think so at all. Because I don't think the people who like Joe Rogan would ever vote for her in any case.
I was about to say, like, there's a point where it's like, there's no point. Like, there's no point in going on the opposite because you're not going to win anyone over by going on their program. Not because you can't, like, speak or explain yourself, but because they're so far up the Republicans or the Democrats, depends on where you're at, their asses, that is just it's not gonna matter. No, it's not gonna change anyone.
Yeah, right? No, it was her campaign to lose no matter what, and that's what I'm always gonna stand by, because I know people are like, oh man, she didn't have enough time to campaign. How can you say that? 107 days, man, that's not a lot of time when you really stop to think about it.
I want to take issue with McGee who said white blobs for camel toe. I'm like, Zam and I are brown, and Dosea looks tawny. So
I resemble that remark.
Hey, what's going on here? Don't make me white power this whole podcast, god damn it.
That's right. I'm a mixed race blob. Thank you.
I too am mixed race. I'm Greek and Cypriot.
Whatever. That is still white, my friend. We are still the white.
Well, that's what I think is kind of funny about like racist, because like they'll get mad at like, well, how come there can be black power but not white power? I'm like, because white isn't a culture group, and the only reason why black is because your ancestors stole us from Africa and lumped us all together and took away our culture. So most of us don't know, I mean, most of us would love to be, Dosa or Igbo or Mandinka or whatever, but we don't know because it was stolen. So so then we adopted.
Bullshit! You guys got on those boats of your own free will. You put on those chains to sell.
They held
came over here to work, and you offered your services for free. Nobody forced you. Nobody forced you.
Well, they held out Twinkies and chitlins, and they were like, "Y'all, come on, we're going across the pond."
well, my favorite is like when they try to tell me to go back to Africa. I'm like, most of them is like, their ancestors came in the 1800s. Well, according to DNA, my ancestors came a lot closer to 1619 than theirs did. So I'm like, hey, mine were here before yours. They didn't come of their own free will, but they came.
Oh, my DNA is all over the Middle East. Like,
yeah, it is. You and Zam's all over there.
Hey, I don't go on holiday without leaving my mark anyway. You know what I mean? It's just
corners of bars and of brothels, and
Well, see what's cool for me is that being Hungarian and Romani and Roma and Ashkenazi, so there's a whole bunch in there. Plus,
you're Puerto Rican.
Plus, I got Irish and English and Scottish. Actually, no. At least part of my African is I know Igbo is actually the predominant African, but that's only like half of it. So.
Oh yeah, that's Nigeria kind of region. Yeah. It's
you're naming things that the American people just don't know about, man.
And from Nausa as well. So
well, what's cool is about Hungarians and the Roma people. Of course, these are like people from like the Hungarians started in there was two migrations, first the Huns and then the Magyars. So they're Central Asian, and then the Roma people are basically from basically India. So it actually shows up in my mom's DNA at 1%.
Oh,
and
1%
interesting. Bengali.
You look like Super Mario, they say.
Cool.
Well, he's on a lot of shrooms, that's for sure. You know what I mean? I think we'll all join you on those.
It's me, Mario.
Shrooms.
So then I just got to get a set of overalls, and I got my cosplay all set up. You know,
There you
I didn't have
go.
to do that much.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Back when I had hair, all I had to do was put my glasses on. Everyone was like, "Oh, you're cosplaying as Joe Rogan." Well,
Oh,
no, it's just how I look every day.
I want to hit that one that Rick B's like. If you have black power, you can have white power. It was other black and Arizona. Well, that was true. That did happen, although that's not the only way it happened. But I love when they bring this up because it's almost like they think that's like a get out of jail free card. I'm like, but you didn't have to buy them. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's like, no one like said, hey, you got to take these slaves. And the other thing too is when they try to say like, well, you were selling your own people. No, they sold their enemy, people from their enemy.
Their enemies. Their enemy
Right.
tribe.
They didn't sell their own people. They sold other people. But see, of course, when you lump us all together like one big block, then
And you know what? All you need to do, if you go to AFTV, that is an Arsenal fan channel, and look for their trip to the Ghana or Nigeria, they did a tour of the old fortresses by the sea. And in that tour, they even tell it themselves. They didn't say just white people came and took our people. A lot of Africans were selling their enemies off to the whites and all this kind of stuff. It's not a secret. It's a new discovery by white Americans to think that it's some kind of gotcha.
right.
Okay.
Right.
And the Arab slave trade is nothing new. The Arab slave trade started before the other slave trade. Okay. It's nothing new, and it was just as prominent. But again, when you talk to African American Muslims, they omit that fact because a lot of the arguments that I found from them was to say there were no slaves in Islam. I was like, the fuck are you on about?
There's still slaves in Islam.
Yeah, like ridiculous. And I know my family was colonized by the Ottomans. Okay, I'm Greek. We were colonized by the Ottomans, and they were treated either as slaves or second-class citizens. So it's just that when Americans are learning history, no offense to you guys, but it's suddenly like such a revelation. It's either a gotcha or a be-all kind of thing. It's just like, and that's why you see a lot of stupid shit, like, and a lot of the history they learn is just bullshit. It comes from their own people, from their own country. So Americans from America, let's say the argument, oh, Cleopatra was black and all this kind of stuff. It's like, she was fucking Greek. He was Greek.
She was fucking Greek, yeah.
She was Greek, for fuck's sake. And
you can even tell from the sculptures of her, she's not an African, she's not a sub-Saharan African person. I mean,
no, exactly. But they just, and they gave Jada Pinkett a whole documentary on it on Netflix. That's a level of stupid that we have to deal with on a constant basis.
I want to
history written by the victors. 100%.
Yeah, Rick's like, well, no white person alive today was purchased slaves. Well, that's true, but here's the thing: people want to act like it's so long ago. Like, well, first off, when slavery ended, it wasn't like everything was, hunky dory. Look up Jim Crow, look up the black codes. Look up segregation. Redlining. So get serious. But my last, last known. Formerly enslaved ancestor died in 1953. I've got living relatives who knew him, so it's a long time ago, but it's not that long ago. He lived to be 108.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Not just that, but
I was saying stop looking backwards all the time. I bet you he has Confederate flags.
Yeah, he probably
that's always
does.
the fucking case.
He's probably got that guy with him.
This is right-wing rhetoric. They always look backwards all the time. We're the ones trying to move forwards with policies that usher in, ways to fucking help the working class and to help families and all this kind of shit.
They want to go. They want to go back to that. They want to go back to that episode of Family Guy where like Brian becomes a Republican for like an entire episode. And he and Rush Limbaugh like just joking. They're like, "I dream of Republican town." That's what they want to go back to.
Oh yeah. Well, it's just like you think of the whole rhetoric, make America great again. The idea is we're not great now, but there was some time in the past when things were just dusty.
Yep.
Like the civil rights movement was during the 60s, and then we obviously had I think interracial marriage was allowed in 1967. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that's still in people's lifetimes, by the way. You just want to make sure people understand that.
The Fair Housing Act of 1970 was passed in my lifetime.
Bloody hell.
And I think women allowed to have their own bank accounts was in the 70s. It's crazy when you think about that.
Yep.
Or run their own business. That was in the 80s that passed.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like we had slavery ends nominally in 1865, although some of the black codes basically you could but and that thing didn't really end because you basically it only ended for like chattel slavery, but you could effectively be a slave if you were in prison. So then that's what the black codes were about, making practically anything a jailable offense.
Yeah.
And sharecropping and all this kind of thing, redlining. So then there's another 100+ years of other things, and it's like, and how come black people didn't come up? Like, well, because you didn't stop. Just like the people who are like, when are we going to stop paying for the crimes against the Native Americans? Like, well, maybe when we stop committing them.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're in abeyance of multiple treaties with various indigenous nations.
Yeah, I mean, look at the Keystone Pipeline. Remember that, and how the natives were treated on their own land.
Oh my God!
Obama to their kneecaps. Didn't give a fuck. Wanted that pipeline done.
Up until recently, tribal police could not arrest a non-tribal on tribal land. So how fucking sovereign are they on their own land? If you can't arrest, you got to call the outside police to come in. How fucking patronizing is that shit?
Yeah, well, that's crazy. That's just fucking crazy. Yeah, Unwell might want to clean up his bedroom. It will do. He's taken notes and will do. Yeah, keep the past in your rear view window and look past the nose of your rig. Well, misled. That's not us. Again, we're not the ones living in the past. We try to warn people about the past so we don't fucking go back there. You know what I mean?
Right. We're trying to have progress.
Yeah, have progress. Eliminate the fucking upper class and have a more egalitarian society. But it's not our side that doesn't want that. You know?
It's just like with gun rights. Like every time an unarmed black or Latin person is shot, or even somebody was legally armed and wasn't doing anything threatening to get shot and killed, and the gun people are silent. They never come out. When John Crawford III was gunned down for holding a toy gun, Philando Castile, who was obeying the law and had to let the officer know that he was armed and he was trying to show him his documentation.
That was the one that was in the glove box, right?
Yeah.
And he just went to get these documents in the glove box, and the fucking pig shot him.
That's right. And the gun lobby, which you would think, hey, that's gun rights. This guy was legally armed and following the law. Where were they? Nowhere, because they don't give a fuck about the rights of black and brown people to own guns.
They don't care. They tried to paint him as a criminal. They tried to. I remember when they were saying he went for the gun. He went for the gun, and the video shows completely fucking otherwise.
Seriously, cricket happening in the part of the world, unfortunately. Joe, they just can't wait to kill somebody. Some of these cops, they've got the gun. They want to fucking use it.
I was in Scotland back in September, and then we spent like a night in London. And I'll tell you what, whenever I get challenged by some right winger and they're like, "Well, how are you going to defend yourself without a gun?" And I'm like, "Well, I was in Scotland. No one had guns. I didn't feel unsafe one fucking second. Never."
That's because you went in Glasgow.
Another thing as well, people go on about how bad the stabbings are here in the UK. Trust me, that by ratio, and they're still not as bad as it is in America. But regardless, imagine if we had guns. If the stabbings are that bad, imagine if people had guns in this country. We'll be shooting the shit out of each other. I'm glad we don't have it.
We had guns over here. Bloody hell. You know what I mean? I'd get arrested. Fucking road rage. I'll just be like, "You motherfucker." Goddamn granny crossing the road, you fucking bitch.
I understand that learning from the past, you need to know who the enemy is, what's the common denominator, so to speak. People who divide.
Yeah. We had actually gasoline here in New Jersey is $2.75. It was much higher under Trump. So
Oh my
And
god!
when it did, and the only time it did go down is during COVID when we all couldn't drive anywhere. So if you want to go back to that, yeah, gas prices will be cheap and you'll be trapped in your house.
Oh my god! Yeah, I remember during COVID, the price. I mean, we get ripped off over here anyway. But yeah, the price of petrol over here was so fucking cheap. It was lovely.
Excuse me, white fat losers, mad Trump won. Do not rope all these people in with me. I am the white American here. Thank you very much. I am the center of attention.
With a fucked up haircut. With a fucked up haircut.
That's right. I'm gonna rock this shit like D Jose is going out of style.
Is this a reunion of the Benny Hill cast?
I'm curious. You guys are, pretty progressive group of guys. How do you draw this like army of fucking losers?
Well, it's because of the post-election. Are you talking about like the chat?
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, this is just post-election. Like these people are going from stream to stream to stream to stream,
just trolling the fuck out of us,
and like that. That's all that's why we play along. I mean,
it's fun.
It's not our usual crowds. It's not our usual crowd, but you know what? We welcome it.
Y'all keep disliking our video and keep chatting.
We're getting traction anyway, motherfuckers.
Analytics, and we'll kind of finger the prostate a little bit.
Well, that's the
maybe.
Okay, I just got to cut everyone off here. Zam, do you want to go to this comment that you posted?
It's the reunion of the Benny Hill show cast. Laugh out loud. These clowns, fucking soy boys, pathetic. Most Lugamons basement.
I am in a second-story basement. Thank you very much. Right now is my second-story basement.
You guys are
I'm in my own bedroom. God damn it!
Blah blah blah.
I own my own house. In this housing market, by the way.
We have mental health issues in the trust me.
It's evident in the comments that you have mental health issues.
Yes, thank you for demonstrating the mental health problems you have in your
commenters for demonstrating that.
Yep.
D Yates' comment.
I love the meltdown, and I'm a Canadian. Oh, hey. Oh, great. Hey.
My cousin's Canadian.
Fucking soy boy.
You know your bacon is just ham, right, Canadian? That's all it is. It's not real bacon.
Right, just ham.
Yep.
Yeah, they call it back bacon, but
it's just ham.
Oh, you guys deleted D8's comment. That was that's fun. You got to be honest.
I find it in general. Anybody outside the U.S. that is like right wing, that's like trying to control. Like it's not going to go well. Whatever, it doesn't matter what country you're in. This is not going to go well for you. This is not.
Yeah, these people
Listen, let them have their day. Today's their day. Let them have their day.
Here's what I'm going to say. Wait 6 months. Wait until like 6 months from now after he's been president for 3 months. And if he starts touching shit, they're going to be like, what the fuck? Why am I losing my benefits? They
won't complain. They'll be like, oh, this is for the better. I'm paying $300 more in my benefits per month, but this is better. I promise you.
Yeah.
This is America being great again.
They call us the baiters. They call us the baiters. They're the ones getting the fucking butt plugs the size of this pint glass right up there, and they'd be like, thank you, daddy, give me more. Thank you, daddy, give me more. I want it, I deserve it. This is for the best. And then tomorrow when they Trump in the middle of nowhere, they're like, goddamn liberals.
Trump's cock is not a bong, guys.
Okay,
not a bong. Get it out of your mouth or your ass, whatever the case may be.
Thank you, Busty River, for subscribing. Misled got a comment here. What is right wing? I'm not clear. Let me show you what right wing is. I've got it a little bit further up in the comment section.
No, Zam, keep your pants on. Come on,
Nitwit. Show them the beast. Indiana.
Here we go. This is right wing right here.
So I don't know.
That's very right wing.
Identify that way, but I'm not a socialist, so So.
You're a goddamn Nazi as well, then, are you? God damn it, Sarah. And I thought, now you're all daydreaming.
Well, I mean, isn't that kind of what podcasting is? We're kind of just daydreaming and talking out loud. So, I mean, you're here. So,
why are you watching us? I mean, why are you here?
Well, that's the thing. If they're trying to make us mad, all we're doing is laughing at them. So
we're laughing at you, so you're not going to win because we really don't care. It's not like,
and as Cheeto said, all they're doing is driving up the engagement, so they're just helping the channel metrics.
Yeah.
Cool, thanks, assholes. Woohoo!
Yep.
See, you got a woohoo from Mario. Woohoo!
Woohoo! It's a me, Mario.
Wahoo!
President Bill Clinton said we were better off 4 years ago.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not
So
true.
at the beginning of Biden's presidency, is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying he said it recently.
No, he's saying that Bill Clinton said that we were better off 4 years ago when we came out of a Trump presidency, is what they're saying.
Okay.
But we were also
Speaking of-
coming off of we
Rick,
were
basically,
in the middle of
you're naked-
COVID
you're
and
naked in
inflation
bed
hadn't hit
alone,
yet.
watching a bunch of soy boys. What does that say about you?
Yeah, bacon. The difference between bacon and Canadian bacon is, with American bacon, is they found a way to market and glorify the cheapest cut of meat that they used to throw away in the bin. But then a couple of butchers were like, "No, we can make some money off of this fat."
Yeah,
And,
but it tastes awesome.
No, yeah. Hey, I'm just saying you that's the origins of the streaky bacon. That's what we call it over here, streaky bacon.
Rick,
In the UK, we have lots of different types of bacon.
Your real live sex doll does not make you not alone.
Hey, sex dolls have feelings too.
And by the way,
They don't have any rights, though.
It's all about British bacon, in my opinion. And maybe Danish bacon's not too bad too.
I actually, well, compared British bacon and Canadian, I actually will take the Canadian. I find the British bacon. I mean, obviously it's meatier, but I don't know, something about the taste, and it's okay, but I'm not.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you're not crazy about it. That makes sense.
I just like bacon, so I would not sit here and go, "Oh, American bacon, this Canadian." It's fucking bacon. It's going in my mouth. I'm going to enjoy it. That's all that. That's all
like
that
that
matters.
with pancakes as
Goddamn
well.
right, it's going in your mouth.
What's that, man?
You like that with pancakes as well, I remember.
Yeah. American pancakes, crepes, black pancakes. I don't give a shit. It's going in my mouth.
Do the French call French?
What I mean? It's not like,
Do
it's
the
not
French?
like I'm a wandering mass of fussiness when it comes to that kind of stuff.
Here's what's crazy.
It's not about division. It's about unity.
Yeah, but here's what's crazy. Here's what's crazy though. Do the French call French toast just toast? I mean, I've always wondered that.
Well, they call it pan pardue, lost bread.
Well, I mean, by the way, and French toast doesn't even originate from France. It
It's like French fries. It doesn't originate in France.
It's funky bread. That's all it is.
Well, Rick, if you talk about food and you're not happy, something's serious.
Yeah, something's wrong with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's made the wonderful observation that I'm fat. I mean, his observational skills are unparalleled.
Oh my god, I love. Wait, go ahead through that comment. Go to Paul's comment next. Like they will believe anything. Oh, Joe Biden put him. Yeah, he put a MAGA hat on because he doesn't give a fuck and he's demented out of his mind. He's like, all right, sure, I'll put. Somebody handed to him, say, put this on. He's like, okay, sure, whatever. He doesn't care. Because he's already got your money.
Yeah, he has no fucks to give. I mean, dude's what, like 80-something years old?
You guys have to realize that you guys are far more loyal to your party than they are.
Yeah.
Like, you guys will die for your party, and they will not. They will abandon you at the first opportunity, Democrat, Republican alike.
Yep.
Yeah,
I am incredibly happy talking about food because food rocks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Although, I gotta say, I've been on Ozempic for a while now, and since last June, I've lost 63 pounds.
Nice.
Holy shit,
Whoa. Very nice.
Long way to go, but hey.
Very nice. Mind you, to be fair, that's not really that impressive because me and Zam lose that every time we go for a shit. But
okay, wait. All right. So I'm sorry. Let me correct. You are correct. He did ask for the MAGA hat, but they told him to put it on. They said, "Put it on, put it on." He's like, "Fuck it, all right."
Yeah.
Like, so you're right. He did ask for it because he wanted to look at it, and then everyone was screaming, "Put it on," because they knew that it would be a meme moment.
Yep.
There we go. Sorry, my bad. False news. I'm spreading false news.
Please outlaw bacon in 6 months, RFK Jr. Please. Please do that.
Misled. I was going to say Miss LED. Misled. The only side effects I've had are sometimes it's made me nauseous, especially if I overeat. I get nauseous. I Sometimes we'll get nauseous after the first shot of the week, because you take one shot a week. And then the other is it can cause constipation, so you gotta stay hydrated.
Yeah.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I've only eaten chocolate once in the last almost 2 months.
Nice.
And that was like maybe 5 days ago. I had chocolate. Prior to that, I haven't had chocolate since September the 12th.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of like politics and all this shit, because I wanted to bring this up, I got to send this to Ginger. So give me a second, because I'm gonna have him put this on the screen when I find it.
I would like to see some of those people who are hiding behind the keyboards because they don't look like different from, and most don't have their teeth.
Okay, yeah. Let me see how to.
Thank you, Win.
I mean,
How
to
much-
be fair, I
Wait.
mean, listen,
Well,
these people can support whoever they want. Like, it's just
All right,
like,
Ginger. Check X, Ginger, and see what I just sent you, because this is fucking hilarious. I about
Let's have a
died.
look here.
Yeah, I about died when I saw this. I was like, "Are you
Are
fucking?"
you able to share it?
Yeah, one
Yeah, I
second,
can
mate.
share
I'm
it.
just going to
Yep.
paste it into.
Put it in like the private chat or something, so everyone can see it, because it is.
No, I'll
hilarious.
put it on the thing.
Yeah.
Rick,
Regarding
because I know this will confuse the shit out of Rick B. I weigh a hair under 36 stone.
Okay, well, Rick, for me, I haven't actually weighed myself since I started exercising and dieting. But what I do want is people to know if I've lost weight. So the next time I see my poker mates, hopefully they'll tell me, "Yeah, you've lost some weight." You know, and also not just that, but some of the clothes I wear.
Yeah,
hopefully
this
fit
is
better.
this is hilarious. One of the reasons why I like Kamala lost. Like, this is what people are
Kamala?
getting blamed.
Who's Kamala?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Kamala.
Camel
Who cares?
Camel toe?
Camel toe.
Camel toe?
Apologies for the video quality. It won't let me go further
Yeah,
than that.
it's only like maybe
My
10
generation.
seconds.
All right, you ready?
Yep.
Generation X, the people who grew up on WWE and Hulk Hogan and Donald Trump did this. They did this. They are the ones who looked in the face of somebody who said, I want to be a dictator on day one. We did this. My generation, Generation X, the people
Yes.
I didn't.
We did
You
this.
didn't vote for Trump, and you grew up with Hulk Hogan and shit like that.
I was about to say, I'm like Donald Trump and Vince
Thank you, Rick
McMahon
B.
were at WrestleMania together. So
Yeah. That's
And
hilarious.
living in central New Jersey like I do, I've unfortunately been aware of Donald Trump for far too long, since I was in high school.
Yep.
And I'm old.
Listen, we saw him rise to mega stardom in Home Alone 2, so you know.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
That he was a runaway train from there. I said that guy is going to be president.
That's going to be president one day.
Yeah,
Yep.
100%. Yeah.
I just turned 56 last week.
Oh, you look very good for your
Sorry,
age.
how long? How old?
56.
Damn, man. You don't look it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Some black jeans, you know what I mean? They keep you young.
Well, like I said, when you have great grandfather lived to be 108, my grandfather lived to be 88, my grandmother was 96, her sister lived to be 104, my grandfather's father lived to be 92. See, and this is the thing. I think I told you guys in the past how I've got the extra coronary artery. I think I told you that. Maybe I didn't.
No.
I'm thinking that might have been an inherited trait, in which case it would explain how a family in Alabama of black people, where the life expectancy was like 60, lived to be, crazy years.
Right. All right. See.
Yeah, I've got an extra coronary artery.
Wow.
You're sitting also front row of WrestleMania 7. And
Yep.
It's crazy, but I've seen WrestleMania 7 so many times, and only until I saw it again like a couple of days ago on YouTube, some clips, I noticed that Donald Trump was in the front row.
Thanks, Winslow. I think if my wife keeps telling me if I were to dye my mustache back to black, that I'd look younger still.
Why's it got to be black?
Yeah, why I got to be black?
Damn, racist. You know what I mean? That's DEI mustache. God damn it. Anyway. All right, guys. About ready to wrap this up. It's gone midnight here.
All right.
I want to thank I did not expect this turnout for co-hosts. So thank you everyone for joining us. That was fucking awesome. And we also had Block and Moose on earlier, who is Unwell Zam's cousin. And to everyone that commented and everyone that trolled, and had a blast. With
We
our
love
liberal-
you. Yep.
We love you. Thank you very much. Please subscribe to NerdTube, the greatest channel that you have now definitely heard of. And check out all our other content. Do a lot of fun stuff. Join our reviews. They're always silly buggery and shit talking as well. And on that note, we bid you adieu and welcome to the world of chaos.